So I just got a shipment in of food, and it made me think of probably my biggest pet peeve when it comes to YouTube videos talking about food, is they often say that phrase, high quality food, and then they don't talk anymore about it, or they try to sell you something that they're affiliated with. I have 17 subscribers, so I'm affiliated with nobody. The only other thing about that is that I'm not an expert. I'm not going to go over ingredients, but I do want to talk about some of the foods that I use that I've had a lot of success with and that the fish seem to like and that they seem healthy with. And also, they're not exactly that surprising of name brands, and there's stuff that people have probably heard of, but just want to talk about a few of the things that I use that and why I like them. First off, we'll just start with from babies. I've had success feeding golden pearls to rainbow fish babies. So very, very small fry, anything that's very small fry. I use golden pearls, this 5 to 50 microns. It seems to work really well. It gets through that first week or two until they can start eating brine shrimp, and then they start putting on some weight. One of the other things, I don't know if I've ever heard of anybody doing this, but I just kind of figured it out on my own, is this Repashy. I'm a very lazy person, so I don't feel like actually boiling water and mixing it and making Repashy gel cubes. But I have found that I can just use this powder and give it to fry, and they eat it up and they grow pretty quickly. Especially this is a new one, this Spawn and Grow that I started using recently, but I'll kind of interchange it with this Community Repashy. So if anybody's used this stuff, I have made the actual gel in the past, and it does seem to be devoured pretty quickly by the fish. But I use it mostly just for fry and for grow outs, and it seems to work pretty well. This is a brand that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, the Extreme. I have a couple of the smaller containers because I actually have started using less of it. I do like how light and flaky it is. It's really easy to just grind it up in your fingers, and you can use that to feed to fry as well, which is really nice that it can be kind of ground into a powder, which you can do that with any kind of flake food. But I just find that the Extreme um, flakes are easier to do that. The other thing I really like about the Extreme flakes is that because they're so light, I feel like they last longer and I'm less likely to overfeed my fish. I'm going to talk about some of these flakes and things over here, but some of the other flakes I've used in the past are really dense. So I feel like I'm more likely to accidentally drop too much food in the tank. With Extreme, I tend to have better luck at not overfeeding my fish. So something I really like about them, and they are well known for their quality. I use the spirulina flake for my Tropheus and Mbuna, and anything else that I want to give a veggie snack to. These are actually the ones that I just got, these 5 right here in front, and I really like the brine shrimp direct food. Um, Fish seem to like it a lot. And there's this cool mix. They have this cool technology that they use to make the food. Unlike the Extreme, it's really dense. So, like I said, it's easy for me to accidentally put too much in it. The other one I really like is this soft color enhancing pellet. These granules are, I wish I would have opened it so I could just take some out and show it to you, but you can really crush them up in your fingers and grind them into a fine powder really easily, which makes it really versatile for feeding lots of different fish. They're not huge, so they don't, you can't necessarily feed them to big fish. I mean, they'll eat them obviously, but they're not like big fella pellets, but they're versatile as far as the type of fish. Like these guys in the background, they'll eat them up. And but if I also have some smaller fry that I want to feed, I can grind it up, and it's really good for them as well. The Cool Green is another one that I use for my more veggie fish. And then this is a really cool one. I actually just ordered this for the first time. This is called Cool Med, and it's got metrodine. Sorry, I'm a medical professional. I should be able to say this word. I just call it Flagyl every time I say that, which is the name of the antibiotic, at least the brand name. Uh, and I don't ever say that word. Metronidazole. Shoot, that's just kind of funny how often I I talk about that drug, and I can't even say the full name of it, but I call it Flagyl. But anyway, it's infused with the medication, and I had one fish that I noticed is starting to get kind of like a bit of a sunken belly, and I might put it through a deworming treatment. And also I've had situations where I kind of needed this, and I've sprinkled it into the water and done other ways of administering it, although I'm definitely not a professional in treating fish, although I did have luck in that situation. Everything worked out okay. But I got some of this just because I thought it was so cool that it's already mixed within the food, because I've done stuff before where I've mixed my own stuff, and this is just awesome to have it already mixed in. As far as brine shrimp goes, I've only ever ordered 3 different kinds, although 2 of them were from Brine Shrimp Direct, and one of them was the Aquarium Co-op brine shrimp. I have to say that bar none, the Aquarium Co-op is definitely uh, the highest quality brine shrimp eggs. They just the hatch rate is, anyway, compared to anything else I've used, it's so high, and you hardly ever have any leftover eggs on the bottom, and it's just so nice to not have to worry about it. So I do have to kind of adjust. But next to that, this one is pretty darn good, and it's also, I think, a lot more cost effective, because you can get this big old tub, and you can look up the prices. I'm sure they change a bit, and it's just compared to the size of what you get with Aquarium Co-op. This is just so much bigger, and I get a little bit less of a quality hatch rate, but I still get plenty good hatch rate to the point where I can definitely use it. But you really need to get the premium grade, which they say 90%. I think Aquarium Co-op says 95. If you get anything below the premium grade, you're really going to be sifting through a lot of bad eggs at the bottom. So I tried one of the lower grade ones just to try to save money. Had a lot more luck with the premium. This I have it turned around. It's in an extreme container, but this is actually the Northfin Krill Pro. Um, I don't know if this is any indicator of what good food is, but this stuff smells. I mean, it smells like fish, which I guess probably means it's legit. And if you look up their process, they're supposed to be really high quality food the way that they make it. And I have noticed that fish seem to color up a little better. I mean, that's very anecdotal, but one of the things that I did notice with this one, and also the New Life Spectrum that I'm going to talk about next, I guess I can kind of talk about these together, as I ordered both of these at the same time. The New Life Spectrum, I have the container sitting over here. This is actually New Life Spectrum, but I'm going to talk about what's on the container in a minute. Is that both of these, I have fish that have breeding patterns or breeding behaviors when they're getting fed brine shrimp. And what I noticed is that I wasn't hatching brine shrimp, and I started feeding this Krill Pro and the New Life Spectrum, and a lot of the fish that were acting like they did when they got brine shrimp acted that way with this food. So very anecdotal, but I've been really pleased with both this Krill Pro Northfin as well as the New Life Spectrum. They're not the cheapest. Both of them smell, which I guess, like I said, might be an indicator that they're high quality food. But I do think that they are pretty darn good food. Some of the other things, so like I said, this is actually New Life Spectrum in here. I just keep it in here to carry it around. But Brine Shrimp Direct also makes this brine shrimp flake food, which is really cool. I didn't think the fish acted the same way as they did when they got real brine shrimp, but live baby brine. But I thought it was kind of a cool idea to make a flake food out of brine shrimp. So this is just my New Life Spectrum Marine that I use for my marine fish. And on that note, I've never found anything out there about whether or not you can give freshwater fish food to marine fish. And I am not a marine fish expert. I have one saltwater tank that you may have seen in the background a second ago that I haven't made a video on yet, but I will soon. Actually, Brine Shrimp Direct, when you look at their food on their website, they will say whether a food can be given to both or just one or the other. And I thought that was really interesting. So a lot of these are actually rated for both. And I felt like when I researched that, when I was starting to get into my first saltwater tank, nobody wanted to say whether or not you could give certain foods to both. They just wanted to sell you the one that was like this one. And of course, I gave into it, and I did buy the marine specific one rather than give them that. But I do get the feeling that they're kind of interchangeable, you know, like krill, for example. Yeah, why wouldn't I be able to give krill to a saltwater? So I actually give them the krill all the time. I give the saltwater tank their own New Life Spectrum. Since I have it, I would never give them bloodworms. I wouldn't think about that. But why not give them brine shrimp flake? I mean, I give them brine shrimp, so I would do that. And then with the, I do like the brine shrimp direct because they'll tell you whether or not you can give it to freshwater and saltwater, which I thought was pretty awesome. So I do think there is some interchangeability there, but I do think that people that want to make money off of you don't really want to talk about it. But I will say I have done it, and I haven't seemed to have any issues, and my saltwater fish are growing and they seem very healthy. So I have a couple Hikari products out here. I've used a few different types of these freeze-dried bloodworms in the past, and from Hikari, as well as the spirulina and things like that. I don't think that they match the frozen food as much as far as quality, but I do think that they're pretty good. And then the same thing, these algae wafers. I've never seen a fish like a pleco turn those down. The other thing that I have is I got this off of Amazon. This is just a calcium supplement that I give to my shrimp, and they seem to eat it right up. So I do that. I try to do it. I will say I like to do it once a week, but I usually forget. It's probably about every other week. And then I'm going to pause the video real quick, and I'm going to go show you some more food that I do. Never underestimate the value of Facebook Marketplace. One day I'm searching through Facebook Marketplace, and there's somebody that has a post up about how their husband got rid of all his fish tanks, but left behind all of this frozen food. And for $100, I got, I think, 93 containers of these. So I do try once a week to give them some brine shrimp. I don't use the krill. I have some krill in there. Beef heart, there's a lot of beef heart that I was able to get. This is my container of brine shrimp that I keep in the freezer just because it's close to my brine shrimp hatcher. And see, once again, it's premium. This is one of the containers that I bought. I've bought 2 of these, and I decided to step it up to the bigger can this time just because I'm tired of buying it. That is one thing I'll say about Brine Shrimp Direct is their shipping is kind of high. So I feel like when you order from them, order a lot, and it'll be worth it. So and then as well, I got lots of these. I've got plankton. I've got, of course, they're all going to be stuck together and not come out, but emerald entree, brine shrimp. I've got mysis shrimp. Down here is a spirulina, which actually I totally forgot about, and I realized that I probably want to be using that. More brine shrimp back there, and more brine shrimp in there. So lots and lots of brine shrimp, frozen brine shrimp. But and then I have some bloodworms right there that I feed to my pistogrammas and different fish that I'm trying to get to breed. So yeah, I know not everybody's gonna be able to find something like that on Facebook Marketplace, but I was super happy when I saw it and definitely jumped on that right away. And I hope that gentleman who I got this from gets his fish tanks back soon. And then one more thing I'm going to show you. I hope this comes through okay. It's a little loud because this thing is on. But this is my next journey in fish food. Recently purchased an Blue Alpine freeze dryer. And it was my wife's basically birthday gift. It's kind of a big birthday gift. I wonder what I'm going to get next time. But you know, when you own this many fish tanks, I guess when she asks for one freeze dryer, you just have to oblige. But anyway, so she's using it for food. This is actually our first cycle that we're going to run on it. And came to the realization that I could probably use this to make my own food. So as soon as she gets done, maybe not as soon as, maybe in a couple runs, it runs for about 24 hours. I'm headed to the store and I'm going to buy some shrimp and different fish, and I'm going to put it in here and cube it up and potentially use that as some fish food. So I'm super excited about that. That's kind of my next step. I know that a lot of places will freeze dry fish foods, but how awesome would it be if I can just go buy my own tilapia and things and freeze dry it and cut it up into little cubes and then drop it in the tanks and have them eat that. So I'm super excited about that. That's kind of my next step. So let me go right back over here. I did forget one more that I use, and that's this Blue Ridge Koi goldfish food. I haven't had the pond for very long, so honestly, I don't know if I can say much about this. It's koi and goldfish food. I have 2 bags of it. One of it is for cool water. Of course, I bought that when the pond was outside. Check out my video on my not so indoor pond. It was originally supposed to be outside, and they were supposed to be in the cold during the winter, which is why I bought this bag. I don't think I'm going to be using this, and I couldn't return it on Amazon, so that was a bummer. But anyway, this is what I give to my my goldfish in my pond, and then I also put some flakes and other things in there for them to eat, but more of the high veggie stuff. So anyway, that's just kind of a journey through the different types of food that I use. And like I said, I got a bunch of it in the mail today, so I was kind of thinking about my pet peeve about everybody talking about high quality food, and it's taken me a while to kind of narrow down what works and what the fish like so much. And I hope you enjoyed at least a little bit of the backdrop of looking at this beautiful tank behind it. So anyway, if you have any questions or any comments about any of this, or if there's anything that you've used in the past or had luck with, please let me know. Obviously, I'm slowly building up a little bit of a collection here, but hope you enjoyed. Thanks.